It's time for another edition of Live from Studio M on 105.5 Triple M. I'm your host, Jonathan Sutton, and at Triple M we say it's about the music, and it's really about the local music. Today, we're going to meet Tyler Preston, an artist that I first heard playing on the Capitol Square. And many times you walk by a musician who's busking, just playing on the square, and you kind of listen to the music for a second, but you continue your conversation. But I remember that day I was really sucked in and stopped and watched for a while, maybe too long before I threw in my dollar. And then a couple years later, he came in for a competition we have called Project M. And he made it all the way to the finals, and I've just been enamored with his music and his stories, and now you get to hear him as well. It's Tyler Preston, live from Studio M.
Hi, Jonathan. Thanks for
having me.
Hello,
Tyler. Welcome. So let's start off with a song right away.
Sure. This is a new one that I've written over the past couple weeks since the competition. It's about my experience down in Nashville this year, and it's called Yesterday. I'm putting yesterday away. I got no time for tears and I must be on my way. So I'm packing up my leaving trunk and I'm headed down to the station to put all of my yesterdays away. Guitar and a sleeping bag, pocket knife and my daddy's flask with a little bit of whiskey for the ride. Backpack and my lucky hat, toothbrush and an old suit jacket are all that's left of my old life. Wave goodbye to my lover and my friends. I pray someday that I may see them again. For now I walk a lonesome road with a weary heart and a heavy load, and put all those yesterdays away. Away, away from me. Put all those yesterdays away.
We're back live from Studio M on 105.5 Triple M. Our guest today is Tyler Preston. And so, Tyler, you're not from Madison originally. You've kind of been all over the place, right?
Yeah, I moved down to Madison after I finished university up in Alaska. So I lived in Alaska when I was in high school and in college. And I went to the University of Alaska Southeast, studied English there. Moved down here with an ex-girlfriend after that, which is a whole story unto itself. I guess the base summary is that I'm a military brat. I grew up all over the country. I've been stationed on both coasts with my dad. And now I'm here in Madison for the duration, I think.
Until another girl takes you somewhere else.
Quite, yeah, I do follow the girls.
So, growing up then in Alaska, you said in high school, so did you play guitar before then, or when did you pick up a guitar?
Honestly, I gravitated to guitar as a way of dealing with having trouble making friends, because I would move schools like every 2 years, and so by about age 10 I had found the guitar behind the couch that my folks had been dragging along, and I learned how to play Jamaica Farewell by Harry Belafonte. That was the first song I ever learned. Weird. It was out on a Xerox sheet. I didn't even know what a Xerox was. It was just yellow paper, and I was like, Mom, can you show me how to play this song? So she taught me that. I was off to the races, and then from then on, I basically spent the next 10 years in my bedroom playing guitar, intermittently getting outside to play guitar.
So the scene, the music scene so where were you in Alaska?
Juneau, Alaska, and the music scene there is so rich. Juneau is an old mining town. Is the capital of Alaska because it was the site of the first major gold mine there, and because of that, there's a deep tradition of old time and folk music that goes back to back to those gold mining days.
So, but, I mean, I don't think of Alaska as being a route that a lot of musicians are like doing the circuit coming from.
Nope.
Yeah.
Alaska's not a circuit. It's like a line you do up and then you come back down. That's no circles there.
Right. So in that way, so were you exposed to just like you were saying this certain type of music, or did you?
Well, it's folk music. It's family music. It's like everybody plays on guitars and banjos and fiddles and meets in the living room. And so I came up in a community like that. And of course, a rebellious teenager, I was like, well, I'm going to play the electric guitar and I'm going to play reggae, punk, blues, rock. That was my thing when I was like 18, 19 years old. And so naturally, I wasn't particularly popular there because my music was just so against the grain. But I have to like look back now and see how much I actually was picking up, even though I was pretty actively trying to push it away.
Right, absolutely. So now in Juneau, does it, and forgive me for not knowing, but is there the whole like night thing going on, or it's not that bad there where you get like no daylight?
It is like that. It's more extreme there than it would be at other places at the same latitude, because there's mountains on both sides of the channel. It's the technical term is fjords, and these are mountains that go up from small channels of seawater, and they were carved by glaciers a long time ago. The glaciers came along and just left all these big streaks of mountains, and the water filled in the spaces in between, and now people live along the beach right in between the ocean and the mountains.
So, but did you have these times where it was like dark at noon and all that kind of stuff, or light at
noon? The shortest
days
days that I can recall would be I'd like get to math class at like 8 in the morning, it'd be dark, and we'd get to lunch and it would be light out, and you'd be looking out the windows in the lunchroom being like, the sun's gonna be gone before we get out of class, and then at 3 o'clock, sun's going down, it's twilight again. And it does that right before Christmas every year.
So I feel like that would make me insane, or did it help inspire you to write music, or you just, that's what it was and you were kind of used to it?
I think when you're growing up, it just seems normal.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's only in going to new places and seeing things that are different that we realize that normal is really just it's a moving target. There's no one normal.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Very true. All right. Let's hear another song.
Sure.
What do you got for us?
Well, let's do one about that ex-girlfriend.
Okay. Great.
This one's fun. When I was down in Nashville, I was listening to a lot of the country music, and of course, I'm really into blues. That's my thing when I'm just listening by myself. But there's a genre kind of in between the two of them called country blues. Imagine that. And it uses like kind of a droning bass pattern that comes from the blues side of things, but then there's changes and kind of a country style chorus. So this one's called It Ain't Good, It Ain't Bad, It's Alright. Coffee and toast, and I pet my little black dog curled beside the stove, and then I walk to work all day long, thinking about the little girl I once did wrong. Don't you know, there's nothing that I could have done and nothing that I could have said, letting whiskey and the stage lights go to my head. But it is what it is, it's alright. I thank the good Lord for my warm bed tonight. It ain't great, it's just fine. Picking up and moving on along with my life, though I can't help feeling like a goddamn fool when I think about the mess I made of me and you. It ain't good, it ain't bad, it's alright. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. I said, I get home in the evening and I'm all alone, so I make a meal for myself and I pick up the phone, and my fingers trace your numbers while I listen to the dial tones. It's been 3 years since the last time done and something that I could have said. But I was busy letting whiskey and the stage lights go to my head. But it is what it is. It's alright. Thank the good Lord for my warm bed tonight. It ain't great, it's just fine. Picking up and moving on along with my life, though I can't help feeling like a goddamn fool. When I think about the mess I made of me and you, it ain't good, it ain't bad, it's alright. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. Don't you worry about a thing. I say yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up in the middle of the night now, I thought I heard the phone. The dog's outside in the yard, barking at the cold. And I'm looking out the windows, searching snowdrifts for your face, while the cold winter wind blows through the cracks in my window panes. And now I know we'll never speak again, but I know enough to know why. But there's not much solace when I go to turn out the lights. But it is what it is, it's alright. Thank the good Lord for my warm bed tonight. It ain't great, it's just fine. Picking up and moving on along with my life, well I can't help feeling like a goddamn fool. When I think about the mess I made of me and you, it ain't good, it ain't bad, it's alright. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright.
It's Tyler Preston live from the studio, and the man, like, that's just such a fun song. Here it sounds like maybe you want to slit your wrist, but you make it sound so fun. Did you, like a song like that, was that easy to write? Does that come
You know what,
quick?
man? A song like that comes quick, and it's not a slit your wrist song. It's a song about just getting up and going through your day. That's,
Yeah.
That's what it is, and like that's all any day is really.
Right. But there's such good imagery in that too, about tracing the the fingers on the phone and all that. And
Oh, thank you.
It's just really cool. And so with your writing, so many artists we have coming here, they'll talk about how some songs could take them 2 years to write. Bob Schneider came here and he said the best songs he writes take fast.
They're just like boom. It's like.
Yeah.
I think Bob Dylan said it the best. It's like if you didn't write that one, someone else would. It's like you get tuned into the right wavelength. It just comes right in. Song like Yesterday, the one that I just played before that, same thing, man. It's like 15 to 20 minutes of frenzied writing, followed by 8 to 10 hours of deep sleep, and then you wake up and you just you put the final flourish on it, and that's it.
Wow.
It really is.
Yeah. It seems like there's more and more stories like that. Now,
Yeah.
you talk about your blues influence, and that came not from Alaska, right? I mean, how did that happen?
Honestly, it did come from Alaska in a different way. Because like I said, I was like, I'm gonna play electric guitar. Everybody around me is playing, rink-a-dink-a-dink-a-dink kind of roots music, and so I'm gonna go the other way, sir. that was my thing. So I picked up an electric guitar and started going to blues jams with these old guys at like the Elks Club and the Eagles Club, you know. And I fell in love with that music because of how expressive the guitar can be in it. And now I've kind of moved in, like the next phase that I'm moving into is sort of fusing the lyric writing from folk music, the guitar prowess and like the conversation that comes from blues, and then moving beyond the like, you know, a woman done left me and I'm so sad, like thing that the blues is about, which is just as easy to cliche as the bluegrass, like drinking moonshine and, you know, hollering at the moon. Into soul music, which I think is like a more full expression of like the range of human emotion and like the colors that our spirits can be at any given time. And for me, that's like that's like a further evolution of the blues music. So I've always been into how the music or how the instrument itself can speak the color of the heart. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you one more anecdote, and then I'll let you.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Take it. The moment that I knew that I wanted to be able to do this with my guitar, to be able to like really like hone in on like a human element of the guitar playing and find that vocal expressive quality in it. It's about 33 seconds into this live version of Oye Como Va by Santana.
Sure.
And my dad had lent me the CD when I was like, I don't know, 11 or 12 years old. And I put it in and I was listening, and then there's just this one note he hits, just, you know, and it hangs and it hangs and it hangs, and then the amplifier in the room with the guitar, it feeds back, and you can hear him just back and forth on the string like that, just wiggling the string real slow, and then like it sings through the amp, and the amp and the guitar actually become like this other voice for about 4 or 5 seconds, and like that note like went inside of my heart and just like changed it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. I can pinpoint the moment that I wanted to play electric guitar, and it's that one.
That's really cool. Now, it'd be really disappointing if we talked to Santana and he was just like, yeah, I was just forgetting, you know, I was messing around.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure he knew what
It was
was
just
happening.
the acid, man. That's probably what it's saying.
So your guitar lessons, as far as what did you all self-taught, or then you really took a lot of lessons? Or
Yeah, well, that's another thing with the blues, is that blues is such an easy place for guitar players to go in terms of listening. Like the fundamentals of what make folk, country, and rock, and like everything that we understand in popular music today are expressed really easily through the blues. Willie Dixon, the famous blues songwriter who wrote for Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters, is famous for saying, "The blues are the roots, and the rest are the fruits." And so learning the blues and having a real backbone in that, I think it gives you the base, like the base pigments of expression, if you will, that then extrapolate out into more complex forms.
But did you learn, I mean, so was it just hanging out with the guys in Alaska, or
Well,
you sat down?
Yeah, hanging out with those guys at jam sessions, blues jam sessions, and then also blues recordings from the 40s and the 50s. As a guitar player, you could sit down, turn those on, and because of how simplistic their recording methods were at that time, you can just have your guitar like quietly through an amplifier in the room with you, and just join that band. So you can sit in with the greatest blues bands of the century just by turning on their recordings, especially now that you can get like remastered anthologies and stuff.
Right.
So you sit down and you start working out these pretty simple to listen to things, and your ear slowly gets attuned to how to do that. And so I think if you focus well enough, anybody could learn how to play guitar from sitting there with Howlin' Wolf or Muddy Waters on the radio.
No, I don't think I could. But so that's what you really...
That's why I teach guitar, though, because I think I could do that with you. I honestly do.
All right, let's hear another one.
So it's called Learn the Blues by Frank Sinatra. The tables are empty, the dance floor's deserted. You sing the same love songs, it's the 10th time you've heard it. That's the beginning, just one of the clues. You're on the right track for learning the blues. The cigarettes you light, one after another, won't help you forget her, or the way that you love her. You're only burning a torch you can't lose. You're on the right track for learning taunt your memory. The nights when you don't sleep, the whole night for crying, 'cause you can't forget her. Soon you even stop trying. You'll walk that floor, you'll wear out your shoes. You've had your first lesson in learning the blues. When you're at home alone, the blues will taunt you constantly. When you're out in a crowd, the blues will haunt your memory. The nights when you don't sleep, the whole night for crying, 'cause you can't forget her. Soon you'll even stop trying. You walk that floor and you wear out your shoes. You're on the right track for learning the blues. Yes, you're on the right track for learning the blues.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's, maybe with a band I do a little sketching. That's the thing, and like the reason that some of these songs might seem short to folks who are listening is that when I play solo, I just pull out some of the instrumental sections in places where I would naturally just like extend the form for another wrap around. And in that way, I really approach my music as a jazz band leader. Like I look at it as like, you got an A section and B section, and maybe sometimes there's a C section, but that's really what composes most tunes. And then, I get my band up on stage. It's not the same band every time. It's just like a couple guys who know enough music that they don't need to have heard what we're going to do. And then we just let it rip. First time through the A section might be a little shaky. Second time, like you're on it, And all they do is just play underneath me for the first one, and then we're all good to go. So
and you're ready to fly.
Yeah, but so that tune right there, we definitely would have had like a great trumpet solo if we put it on record. You know what I mean?
Of course,
so,
of course. Doing busking out on the streets, that seems so difficult to me, and I kind of always have appreciated musicians who do it. But then when I saw like the movie Once, just to be corny, like, and watching them out there and realizing what it's like. Is that enjoyable? Is it tough? Is it a little of both? Or, because so many people just ignore you, don't they? I mean...
Oh, yeah. You know what? It's like going to work out. That's how I look at busking. It's like going to the gym. You know what I mean? And you know why you go to the gym? You go to the gym to make yourself stronger.
Right.
And you go to get better. And it's really between you and the iron when you're at the gym, right? It's between you and the guitar when you're out busking and doing that. Now, that people enjoy the music and that you're selling the music to them by making eye contact.
Right.
And, really working on the more charismatic, seductive part of your performance, in addition to your technical part. That's just the difference between being at the gym or being busking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Different parts of a similar type of practice and focus. Honestly, I think continuing with the workout metaphor, you want to be loud enough to be heard when you have to play without amplification or anything like that, then you got to be ready to crank on that guitar. I go through about a pack of strings a week, and you got to be ready to sing with really good technique so that you're not blowing your voice out and you're loud. And because you only have 2 or 3 seconds to get somebody's attention as they're going by, you need to be intelligible. Also, you have to use proper vocal tone. So it's a workout. I think that most musicians would benefit a lot from learning standards and going and learning how to sing them properly on a street corner.
Right. And so how often do you do it? I mean, do you try to do it like going to the gym? I mean, as much as possible?
Yeah, I would say I average between 7 and 15 hours a week. I do it in 3 to 4 hour sessions. I develop new pitches, as they're called. Pitches. A pitch is a place where you stand, and you stand there during certain things that are happening. For a while in the early spring, I was playing around with food carts. I wore out that pitch by about midsummer, so I don't go out at lunchtime with the food carts anymore. My current pitch that I'm working is usually old-fashioned, outside the old-fashioned restaurant. From about 6 to 10, give or take an hour on either side, depending on the evening and what I've been up to. You know, that's another thing that's nice about busking is just like if I don't feel like it or I want to take my girlfriend out to dinner, then I just say, you know what, nah, I'm not going to bus tonight. You know, I don't have a boss to tell me like, you know, you have to be here. So
have you had weird, I mean, you probably obviously have positive experiences where people like the music are into it, but have you had anything that's been super scary or?
You know, I've never had a scary experience, but I've had a lot of odd ones. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
I'm going to write a book about it someday. You guys can get the book on Amazon. I'll self-publish it.
Perfect.
Give me 10 years of this.
And there was something we were talking about before we started the session, which we don't have to get too technical with it, but it's kind of interesting regarding amplification on the street. And here in Madison, how it's not really allowed in certain situations, and that can be challenging, I think, right?
Totally. Well, that's, you know, it's a issue that's near and dear to my heart, and right now I call it the Amplify movement. Of course, it's a movement of one. That's me.
Yeah.
But you know, the thing is, like I was just saying, it's a good workout to be out there with an acoustic guitar and learn how to sing properly. Guys like B.B. King and Snooks Eaglin and all those old blues cats used to do it, and it makes you great like them if you do it, you know, faithfully. But we moved into a new era of technology, and now we've got like little battery-powered amps that are easy to throw in a backpack and tote along, and you can use those to play other kinds of instruments. You know, you could play an electric guitar through them, you could set up a DJ scratch pad and play out of them. And they allow buskers and street musicians and street performers of all kinds like this new way of presenting their shows. Here in Madison, we've got a strict law that says you can't have any amplification on the street, and that's part of our noise ordinance. The thing is, you're allowed to play unamplified instruments on the street during certain hours as long as they're below a decibel level, wherever you like. And that includes instruments like drum sets, saxophones, sousaphones.
Which are going to be way louder than what you...
Precisely, and what if you put three of them together? You know what I mean? Like put a drummer and a sax player, like grooving together, and that's going to be really cool. That's going to be awesome. Like you're going to hear some great jazz probably. And it's going to be really loud. And it's going to be easily as loud as one of these like little amplifiers, but currently our cops have to shut down people who are using electronic amplification just because there's no nuance in the law for that. And so I guess right now I'm looking into ways of changing that. I've approached local alderman Zach Wood
to try to get something going.
Yeah.
So, but then it seems like one of the problems could be someone who's maybe not that good and they're amplifying it a problem. But you said in other cities they actually kind of have a plan for that.
In New York and in Boston that I know of, and I would presume that there's other cities in the country that are doing similar things. But New York and Boston are the ones that I call out as examples. They have a permitting system for certain places in the city that are either cultural landmarks or notoriously tight spots for buskers. The two that I'm thinking of is Faneuil Hall in Boston and the New York subway system. At both of those places, buskers have to go before a local board to audition and show that their music is it's PG-13 and it's of a certain quality level so that it's not glorified begging.
Right.
Which is of course the issue. That's like all issues that government has with street musician go back to our vagrancy and panhandling laws and not being able to discern exactly what's happening between a musician and people, because street music is built on a economy based on mutual giving. There's no business transaction taking place when you're performing street music. You're giving music for free, and 9 out of 10 people who walk by get to enjoy that. Maybe 2 of them are grumpy and they don't enjoy it.
But they can keep walking.
But they can keep walking. They're not getting bothered by you. It's, under free speech, you're basically just performing free speech, right? As long as it's like PG and it's cool. I think most of us would agree about that. But, I just lost my train of thought.
Well, we were just saying about the fact that in New York that they have like a board that you go in front of, so maybe something like that.
Exactly.
So, okay, well, hopefully we can maybe make a little change to that, because I've definitely heard saxophone players in front of the Orpheum that are good, but they're freaking loud.
For sure, and it's an issue that's near and dear to my heart and something that I'm going to continue to represent as I go through my life as a musician.
Hashtag amplify.
Hashtag amplify. Yeah, look out. Get on the Twitter and on the face phone and the Google book.
Exactly.
And yeah.
Okay, we have time for one more. What do you want to?
Well, we'll do my last one then. I have one song that I always play last.
Okay.
You save the best for last, and of course this one, I don't think it'd be fair to call it the best anymore, but it was the first best. It was the first song that I wrote, and I said, you know what? That one's not so bad.
It's Tyler Preston live from Studio M.
This one's called On My Way Home. I'm on my way back to the countryside. Gonna see my family tonight. Making my way home by the moonlight. All along these dusty roads, I'm on my way home. I'm on my way home. I'm on my way back to my old town. Call my mother, tell my friends and family now. Been a long time gone, been a real long haul. But every time I slept I dreamt to you all. And I'm on my way home. I'm on my way home. As long as I remember, I've been gazing at the stars, wondering how I got here, wondering where I'm from. The memory seems to fail me. I can't remember who I am anymore. Blinded by the lights of the city. That's why I'm on my way home. That's why I'm on my way home. Everything goes in circles, people, don't you see? Everything will return home eventually.
Tyler Preston live from Studio M. Thank you so much for being here, Jonathan.